All right, we are live, and we're going to let the stream kind of warm up a little bit. Speaking of warming up, those temperatures seem to be dropping down up here in South Dakota. What that means is brace yourself, winter is coming. For Mark, it means absolutely nothing. Do you guys get winter out where you're at?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
have
a
to.
little.
Yeah, a
You
little
get
bit.
like a
So they have
snowflake
to
and
go.
they shut the whole town down, basically.
You're just like, whoa, school's out.
Yeah,
Yeah, for like one. Yeah.
that's the way I grew up too. Yeah, it's still not changed.
Oh, funny. Well, yep, we're gonna let this just heat up for a second here. So, minute to win it. Who's got some magic tonight? Mark? Oh, Sam does. Okay,
All
Sam
right.
evidently does. Sam, minute to win it.
The minute to win it today is about that justice for Tom King. That's what it is. There's been a lot of naysayers to the Tom King train, but guess what? He's got a new number one for Wonder Woman. I think I just spoiled one of my choices tonight on act without thinking about it.
Bro.
But he's got a new number one Wonder Woman out now, and I'm very excited. And there's a lot of naysayers to him, but I think he is one of the best comic book art writers of this generation.
Yeah.
And if you look back at what a lot of the things he's done, he has made essential works for characters that didn't have them before, which is way better than making another. What's this person's take on Batman? It's like he made the what I would say is the definitive Adam Strange story. Which maybe it really shouldn't be the best one because it doesn't paint him in the best light, but it is probably the one story that anybody's ever read about Adam Strange in the past 20 years. Or his Riddler One More Day, awesome book, needs more readers because it frankly it's not as good as Killing Joke, but it definitely is a great companion piece to what the Riddler could be and what it chooses to be, and the art is just it's perfect. So there's a minute to win it. More Tom King love is what we need in this world.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of love, man. Good work and excellent minute to win it. All right. Well, on that note, before I even get to open up the show, Derek is checking in this here with that amazing profile picture that you know I love. So, Derek, you're disqualified because you know that it's awesome and you know that I love it every single time I see your face pop up. But it must be Wednesday. Derek, thank you so much for tuning in. Always good to see you. Yes, it is Comic Book Sabbath today. And Sam and I definitely had a rocking and rolling time at the shop, but we'll get into that in just a second. Let me open up the show here, do my magic, and we'll get back to that in about 20 seconds. Hey, everybody, it's a comic book look. It's your boy, John on Demand, a.k.a. Johnny Locks, looking so foxy with these flowing manes of mine. And I say manes plural because they go on either side. It's really weird. But joined by co-host extraordinaire, brother from another mother, great from another state. It's your boy, Mark C. Shelton, a.k.a. the Bacon and Boarding Bad Boy. And newest hot rod on the comic book lot, Sam is in the building, @Nolman12 if you're on the TikToks and want to see some really fun and if not viral comic book reviews. So
I wish.
we are Comic Book Look, proudly sponsored by Rainbow Comics. So if you're in the Sioux Falls area, stop by and say howdy on 42nd and Minnesota Avenue, preferably Wednesday through Saturday, so you can see these beautiful mugs. If you're in the Lincoln, Nebraska area, say hi to Taylor and team as well. Great humans down there ready to help you out with your comic book and TCG needs. But on that note, it's Comic Book Wednesday. Boys, how are you?
Doing good. Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. It is Wednesday. Before we hop into tonight's theme with Captain Sam at the helm, really quick, Sam and I just wanted to lift up a huge and massive thank you to JJ's Comics and Art for lining up a very dynamic and fun visit from comic book artist Pat Gleason. So Pat joined us tonight from 3 p.m. till 7 p.m. And was just signing books, doing sketches. It was a really good turnout. So first of all, from all of us at Rainbow, thank you all for that stopped out and visited with Pat Gleason. This was his first formal signing event in the state of South Dakota, which is huge. So thank you to Pat for making time to come to our shop. You are always welcome. And definitely, if you're in the Lincoln, Nebraska area, stop by and see the shop there too. The team will love you. So it was just such a really cool experience, though. And we had kind of some goodies to talk about. We'll get into those maybe a little bit later in the show. But I'm going to turn it over to... hold up. Dan's checking in with us. Hey, Dan, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I'm going to turn it over to Captain Sam here, and we're going to rock and roll this evening.
So today I was thinking about the topic, and I was trying to like make, how can we do something like, I guess, somewhat topical to what's going on in comics. So I kind of attached myself to what's like the biggest thing right now coming out of Marvel. And I thought, maybe is it the Fall of X events? And so I was like, I thought about that. I'm like, I have not kept up with the Krakoa X-Men stuff. And I'm very interested in it. And maybe I'll pick it up once it's all done and finished, and I can actually thoroughly enjoy the things I did want to, and I can skip all the things that were not sequential reading. And I thought to myself, why don't we do something simple? Let's just talk about our favorite X-Men. Which ones do we like, and why do we like them? One or two each, and just say like, why are they cool? Maybe why they need more books. Maybe why they are like in a perfect place for writing. Maybe they need like an updo, maybe a redux, or why we like them, and how that came to be. I guess it's very simple. Just, do you like X-Men? Which ones? So I think I'll go first. I guess I'm going to go with probably my most basic one to start with for the choice. I think Cyclops, for some reason, has a lot of like I like Cyclops a lot, and I know people don't, because I love how like down for the cause he is. He's like, no matter what you got to do, he's down. Like, do you want me to go launch into space and like do a suicide mission to basically stop a mother mold? Yeah, I'll do that. Do you want me to go fight giant plant monsters? Okay, I'll do that. And he's so devoted to the cause that he becomes the villain, which is a very cool trip for a character to go down. And he's done it like a couple times now. And to where it's like more, I bet a lot of more modern readers only see him more as like a sinister ally. It's possible. But Cyclops is just really cool. He's got a very interesting dynamic that can be flipped to the very good and the very bad, kind of like Magneto does. So I think Cyclops is one of those ones that is really cool. And even though his power is absurd of how they've explained it, it's like, so it's not laser vision where it's really hot. It's impact vision. It just punches you in the face. It's like, okay. And like, how does that come out of him? Well, his eyes are portals that open up to a kinetic dimension of pure energy. Oh, okay. All right. Moving on. It's like, and the only way to stop it is if he wears red tinted sunglasses. No, that would not stop it. I could maybe see his visor, but literally just like, what if I put sunglasses on? And somehow that works.
But it was the 90s, right? I mean, everyone had those sunglasses. Like Jubilee and Boomer had the same look, just different shade color.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
But yeah, I really like Cyclops for that reason. Like, he's the leader. He is he's the unafraid to be disliked leader, which is actually it's like that shows you they're kind of like, they're strong in their convictions, and they're willing to do what's kind of needed for the mission, but that can contrast with their character and people's like appreciation of them a lot. Like, there's a reason why Jean Grey probably falls to Wolverine every once in a while, because Scott's just probably really uptight.
Yeah.
So, but he's one of my favorites. I love seeing him. So who wants to go next, I suppose?
I do have one prepared in my mind, but I feel like Mark does too. I don't know.
I'm ready whenever. If you're ready, you go ahead.
Okay. My pick, I'm going to steal Mark's here. I know we're on the same page, but you had mentioned characters that maybe need to have more books. And so I just thought of Wolverine right away.
What?
I'm totally kidding.
Okay, thank God. What?
But one character that I've actually been digging. Now, I'm going to paraphrase all this with, preface all this with, I am about 2 months behind on my X-Men reads right now. Okay. And so the character that I'm actually really intrigued by and always have been since I've been collecting, in the 90s, is actually Hank McCoy Beast. And especially right now, he is not a nice person. We'll put it that way. there's a lot of not good going on. But there were similar instances of this over the past couple of volumes, really. Back in the day, it was Dark Beast from AOA showing Age of Apocalypse, just popping in, and that was a huge deal. There's constant battles of morality, bringing back the original team of X-Men a couple of volumes ago.
Yeah.
Like, so the young X-Men were there, and was that the best decision? Who knows, but he's a character that to me is so fascinating because he always came across in the 90s cartoon as the do-gooder and the goody two-shoes. There were a couple of moments in there where they gave him some of that grit, but for the most part it truly was like very straight and narrow. But in the comics they've done a really good job at fleshing him out and showing that he has a brilliant mind, but dude's also got his limitations, and is really starting to go gray with a lot of his moral boundaries. And so it's something that's what I look for with an X-Men character, because there's so stinking many of them, that I look for someone that truly is like, holy smokes, this is the whole package. And so gold medalist for me definitely would be Hank McCoy at this, unless someone else magically like, and you never know in these books. That's the funny part, is that someone else might have that aha moment coming up. You just don't know.
And he's like a very versatile character too, because he wasn't just an X-Men; he was an Avenger too.
Yep.
And he's played a lot of roles. And let's say someone like goes, I really like Beast from these Avengers stories, and they went to go read what Benjamin Percy's doing. And it's like, this is not Beast. What is this? It's a wonderful, like, if you're not consistently reading him, it'll be like, what? How could they done this? But it all makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful through line for his character.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I have no idea how they're going to put that genie back in the bottle, though. Like, how are they going to do that?
Fall of X. We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see.
But yeah, that is my first pick that came to mind when you mentioned that, and so I just was kind of stewing on it all day, and I'm like, yep, that's my dude. So, yeah, cool. Mark, what you got?
Oh, just a comic book series that I really miss, probably from about roughly 10 years ago. Not so much the character, but it was the book, Wolverine and the X-Men.
Yeah.
It was such a great comic book series because it had like a lot of the kids from the Xavier school. You had like Quentin Quire, Kid Omega was heavily featured in that book. Dupe was heavily featured in that book. And it just really explored all those kids in the X-Men universe. And it was just like just a lot of fun. I think the Hellfire Club they'd end up battling them a lot. And I just missed that series. It was a lot of fun. I think maybe y'all remember, was Wolverine the principal of the school, I think, or maybe Storm was, or maybe they co-principal.
Yeah, it was like he was in a faculty situation. I don't remember, but I enjoyed the heck out of it too. Yeah.
Art and story, that was a great comic.
That's a really good one.
Is Dupe that X-Men that just looks like a booger?
Yeah,
like Slimer from Ghostbusters. Yeah.
What is fun and
fun? What's that?
I've never read that character. What is his
wild?
What is he?
Just really wild. That's a good question.
Is he human that turned into a booger?
I don't really remember his origin story, actually.
And now there's an evil one of him too.
Wait,
yeah, it's like a dark version, like purple or black version of him.
Does he still pop up in X-Men comics?
The Ecstatics right now has a reboot, or had, I think it might be done.
Yeah.
But it was like a 3 or 4 issue thing. I have not read it. I have the first couple issues. I do have a trade of, I think it was X-Force, and it was like that different team that had him on it. I think I have a trade of that, and I have not read it yet either. So those are characters I do want to get to know. It's really interesting because the main thing that stands out to me about that series is that it's always that style of art, and it's so distinctive, and it blows my mind. And I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, what is it? And so I'm trying to get my head wrapped around it a little bit, a little bit more.
You're talking about X-Statics, right?
Yeah, but there was a trade of X-Force too, where they stepped in for a while. I think it was called X-Force. I think, but I'll revisit that. It's on my bookshelf. I just have to read it. So
X-Statics is kind of an interesting one because I think the author of it didn't want to write X-Men.
Yeah.
And then Marvel was like, "Come on, we really want you to write X-Men. I think this is what you're good at. I think this is what we want you to do." He was like, "I'll only do X-Men if I can totally do my completely my own thing.
Yeah.
So like, but you're not doing X-Men then. Just call it X-Men in the future or something.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did. Like he had made his own brand new characters, his own brand new X book. So it is an X-Men book, but it's completely off on its own thing, which I think is kind of cool about it. And a lot of the mutations are like joke ones, I think.
Yeah.
Like one, he can just spew acid out of his mouth. There's a character called You Go Girl.
Yeah.
It's like
Really quick, I just wanted to acknowledge here. Chad was just jumping in the chat with a series of things, including Doctor Doom needs more heat. Sabretooth is a fun character. Sinister needs a series, which I couldn't agree more. And then good Booger and bad Booger Law. So no, it's definitely an interesting universe of characters in its own right, and I'm kind of sad to see the X coming to an end, but with all good things, it had a very impressive run. It'll be probably close to 2 short boxes of books that I have since House of X, Powers of X. It's insane, the volume. So all right, Sam, back to you.
So I'm gonna do my second one, and it's gonna be, depending on how you say it. Like when I first read it, I read him as Dakin, but apparently people have said it is Dakin. And I love Dakin/Dakin. I'm gonna go with Dakin because I think everybody says that. But I love his character and how like he's such a literal insufferable evil bastard, but also really fun to read because he's very manipulative, so he gets people to go into his very Machiavellian plans to take over like Madripoor and go like, I'm going to take over LA. My father's never going to see me. And like every chance he gets to, he will talk about how much he hates Wolverine in it. And it's just like, I think about it and go like, man, I mean, yeah, you're like, the whole backstory makes sense why he would hate him. But after a while, it's like, you've teamed up with him like 7 times and you still say you hate this man. I don't believe you anymore.
Yeah.
But he's really cool. Like he's very much like a conquest through all means kind of guy. And I think what I really like is just like a complex, sinister character from the X-Men, I think, because they do those very well, I think. And he's one of my favorites from that. And I think the story was called Dakin versus X-23, The Collision. It's one of my favorite books of all time. And I just love every part of it. And when one of the better parts about Dakin is that when he's on top of things, he's like basking in it all. He's like loving it, like fully absorbing it. But when somebody actually has one on him, he is just pulling all his hair out, so frustrated beyond all beliefs. It's like, it's what happens when the bully gets bullied kind of thing. And he's insufferable. I would hate him as a person, but I do like reading him. And I love Dakin. Great stories there. The what's his name? Jason Day. Like he did all the Deadpool stuff. Christopher Day.
Daniel Way.
There it is. Yeah, like he wrote a lot of Dakin, and it does really well. And it folds into Johnny's Dark Avengers. So,
That's what I was going to ask was, had you read Dark Avengers then?
I've read portions of it.
Okay, well, definitely you're missing out on the best stuff then.
I read the one where he goes against the Molecule Man.
Oh, yeah, that's that. Yeah. Read the rest of it. It's much better.
But yeah, I love Dakin. One of my favorite X-Men.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Well, that's a good choice there. I for my next one here, I was going back and forth on this one, but I'm leaning towards it, and I have to give it up for I got to do this, but we're talking about Kelvin Rankin, which is Mimic. And Mimic, just to give a crash course, all 5 original X-Men wound up into one guy who can assume the powers of mutants nearby. The appearances of him in the X-Men Volume 1, so much fun because it's just like, oh my gosh, the new Ultra Threat is here, and all this stuff, and he proves to be a formidable opponent. But having all the powers, he has his limits where he's good at many things but not great at them. So he's doing his best to try to keep up with them. So ultimately he gets schooled, but it does take a while. He eventually leaves the team, and I actually met Mimic in X-Force, where the team discovers him, like, I think it was Antarctica, like he was hiding away from everybody because he didn't want to have his powers triggered. And so he squares off against members of X-Force, which is nuts. You see him paired up with the Blob, and going against X-Force later on. And then most recently, in addition to floating around Krakoa, you saw him as part of, during Dark Reign, you saw him as part of Emma Frost and Norman Osborn's Dark X-Men team, which was brilliant. So he was part, when the X-Men and all the mutants were living on the Utopia Island just out of San Fran, he was part of Norman Osborn's strike force because they were like, all right, Avengers, or Dark Avengers, Dark X-Men, let's go take down this island. And it's called Utopia, and it's Dark Avengers, X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, like Utopia, and it's a one-shot, and it's this huge battle where you see Mimic going up against Iceman and Angel and everything. It's so epic. So just such a neat character. Definitely has gotten kind of screwed over in a way sometimes. He's had other appearances too. I don't have them all, but I really love that they looped him in for the Dark X-Men. I thought it was an intelligent choice, just because he's an underutilized character, and I thought about that criteria of would like to see more of him, and that would be my pick. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Then I guess my last pick would probably be a character that you don't see anymore at all, but there's like it's a run of Uncanny X-Force that Rick Remender wrote, and I believe Jerome Opina did the artwork, and such a great run of X-Force. But Phantom X was like a main character.
Oh yeah, that was a good run.
Really good. And Phantom X was just awesome. He didn't speak a lot in it, but maybe that's what made his character so great. Less was more. His interactions with Deadpool were always really funny. Like Deadpool referred to him as like looking like Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe, and of course, Phantom X, not silly at all. He was more serious, and I just loved their interactions. Plus, he had a relationship with Psylocke that was really cool. And he could also, I'm trying to remember his superpower, but it seemed like he could duplicate himself as well, or make like multiple versions of himself.
He had a healing factor. He could turn off his pain.
Vaguely remember that.
And I don't think he could duplicate himself. But they duplicated him somehow, where there was a female and a male version of that character.
You could split.
I don't think he personally did it, but that did happen to him.
Okay.
I think he's probably got like some weird mental thing too, where he's like psycho, like, oh, I can also read your mind because everybody can.
I think so.
But
you don't see him anymore. Does he still pop up in X-Men books?
Yeah, he's around.
Sometimes.
He's around.
Not as prominently. Like you would think he would be more involved with like X-Force right now, but I think
he'd be a great choice for X-Force.
I think that they're like, dude, let's lay off the gas on that one. I don't know. Like it's really weird though, because he would, I think, fit in.
Yeah.
That was a fun story. Mark's put me going through memory lane here.
Apocalypse was awesome in that one as well.
Yeah, like Age of Apocalypse, Nightcrawler was in that, and he goes he's like, hey, it's my mom. All right, yeah, okay. And like to Mystique, and I think isn't there a Captain Britain Corps story in that run?
I think so too, yeah.
And I don't they torture Phantom X in that?
I vaguely remember that, yeah.
Yeah, like it was like they cut his face off, and he's like, it's okay, I'll just turn my pain off. I'll put it back on. Don't worry. I'm like,
oh no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Woof. Oh yeah.
And like Dark Beast was in that. That was a good run.
Yo.
They wore like the gray and black uniforms.
Yeah.
In that. It was like their costume.
Like Phantom X was what's his name? Evan Genesis. What's his name? The Kid Apocalypse.
Kid Apocalypse.
That's his name. What did he like put memories in where Fantomex was his dad?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did that. I think he tweaked a lot of that.
Yeah. Like, what's going on with Evan? Yeah. What's going on with Kid Apocalypse these days? Is he still like kicking? What's he doing? There's already regular Apocalypse back.
Yeah.
So.
I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I've seen or heard from him, and
Well,
it's a bummer too, because like I don't know that I've seen him around Krakoa.
No.
I'm also 2 months behind, so it's possible that he just is in the background somewhere. But
have you read Ten of Swords yet?
Yeah.
Okay, because that Apocalypse just pieced out because he had his wife and everything. I think, right?
Yeah.
So they could bring him back now.
Yeah.
But last time I read him was Axis.
Yeah.
When he becomes the actual Apocalypse for a second. Until like Deadpool tells him he shouldn't do that anymore, basically.
Yeah.
That was a weird event. It was fun, but it was a weird event.
Yeah. No,
well,
solid choice.
If you guys want to go one more round, we can go right into books then.
Well, let's we can do some books.
Yeah.
How many do you want to do?
Oh, then do you want to show off the goodies
should we do that?
Yeah, we should do that.
Let's do it.
All right. I'll go first, I guess, because I think you got more cooler things than I did. I got a 2099 Omega 1 signed by Pat Gleason himself. And I'm not coming over here to brag, but he did say this was an awesome one to bring him. So I don't know if you got that, Johnny, but
I did not get that one. He was like, "Oh, that's the guy."
Yeah, see, like,
I'm just kidding.
I mean, just goes to show you, like, you know where it is.
Good take.
Yeah, so
I didn't get to talk to him too much, sadly, compared to other people. I think hopefully everybody had a really good time. When I talked to him, he was a great chat.
No, it was a great event, and no, I definitely lucked out on this one. I'm so excited about this, you guys. First and foremost, the Man-Thing, Avengers Curse of the Man-Thing, his style cover. So these are akin to like the Spider-Man ones and the Venom ones that he did. This is actually the second prints, so the coloring's a little different on here. And I had to eBay both of these because we did not have them, and they came on Monday, and so I was very fortunate with that. This is a Spider-Man and Doctor Strange one, trippy colors.
That's cool.
I brought blacklight paint pens to get signed, so I'm excited to light these up tonight. This next one, shout out to Trevor, because this variant of Spider-Woman by Night. So that's just kind of a fun tribute cover. And then I did get a remarked cover for the first printing of the Avengers Curse of Man-Thing that has Ghost Rider on it in bright orange. And so I'm really excited to light this up tonight and post some pictures on Instagram and Facebook. And then he was so sweet. He had his sketchbooks on these stands, and I was like, I love this so much. And he was like, dude, you can totally have one. Like, these are $1 at a store in my hometown. And he even signed it and drew a Pat Pumpkin for me.
That's so cool.
And so I was just like, that's amazing. So I am going to be using this for Comics by Night to display my comics, because I was looking for something like that anyway. So that was just so nice of him. So thank you, Pat, for that, because that will be used and it will look stellar with the books being displayed proudly. So it was a really good event, though. Really good turnout. Again, thank you to everyone that stopped out, and we just hope that you guys enjoyed. And we also next week on Thursday we have Maria Wolf coming, so she'll be hanging out with us from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m.
I guess Thursday. Just keep coming.
They just keep coming, and then we got SuperCon right after that, Friday through Saturday. So yeah, so more craziness to come, and it's gonna be fun. So we're very fortunate and lucky to have opportunities like this at our store. So, but yeah, with new books, do we have enough for 2 each?
Yeah, I got 2.
You got 2? Okay, let's do 2.
All right, you go first, Johnny.
Oh my gosh, no pressure. All right, well, my first one that I'm truly excited about is I love Evil Droids. And so I'm so excited for D Squad because my boys on the left, 000 and BT1, and I got the variant cover too because BT1 is looking sassy on that cover. So I am here for it. I have not read any of the Dark Droids event yet, you guys. I'm a little behind on my Dr. Afras, but I am so excited to check this out. And yeah, so I was so thrilled to see them on a cover. I'm here for it. So very giddy about that. So that is my first pick.
All right. I will go next. I think I just saw this just randomly, and it spoke volumes to me. It literally had spoke to me. This paper, this paper and ink, had spoken to me. And what I saw was something I could not let go. It is this book right here, Images, Jack Kirby's Star Warriors, starring Adam Starr and the Solar Legion. That is such a heavy sci-fi thing I've ever seen, and that is why I had to get this. There was no leaving this book at the store. And just, if I could drop the book here, look at the art here. Look at the use of just a few colors, but the balance on the art right there. It looks utterly amazing. I have no idea what this is. But god dang, am I excited to read it, because it looks like all those it looks like the stuff that Star Wars was based off of. And that's what's cool to me. Like that the Buck Rogers or the what's his name? Flash Gordon stuff. Like that's the stuff that I can't wait to dive into someday. And I might get a sneak peek with this story right here. This looks fantastic. I can't wait to read this. Either of you saw this there at all, or
I did when we were reviewing earlier on Rainbow Live. I saw that and I thought it was really interesting.
Mark, did you see this one?
No, not read it, but I have seen it around. It looks really cool.
Yeah. I have no idea, but you know what? I'm probably gonna love it.
Yeah,
it's probably gonna happen.
What's the thing?
Let us know next week what you
thought.
Yeah,
that maybe that'll be the minute to win it. Turns out Sam loved it. Spoilers.
Spoilers. This is awesome.
Cool. I went with Captain America, issue number 1.
Don't
I believe this
Sarge.
is. What's that?
Don't tell Sarge.
Legacy 751, and I've read it. It was actually really good. It was goes back to Captain America when he was like 14, between 18 before he became Captain America, and it breaks down a lot of that story. Then it's also got stuff with Cap in the modern era as well. But it was fun, had good action, and I like how that cover is like real like. It's like a brownish color. When it goes into the past, it kind of goes more that brownish color. And when he's talking more in the presence, it goes more with like your vibrant color. So I really thought that was a cool aspect of the book. And it's not on my pull list. I may pick up issue number 2. I've got a lot of books going on right now, but this was good enough that I think if I can find issue 2, I'll probably pick it up next time.
Cool.
It was very enticing to me. I thought about it and I was just like,
it's cool.
If it's still there next week, I'll grab it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
just
thinking.
Check out issue number 1 if you don't care for it. Nothing lost. It's a cool cover.
Yeah. I just got done reading that last previous like arcs of the Captain Americas, so it was like, and that was me going like, I'll just try. I've never read Captain America, so I'm like, I don't know how fast I want to jump right back in.
Yeah, for sure.
But we'll see.
Understandable.
Yeah. For my next one, I'm at a split here, so I'm going to do a quick honorable mention and then highlight the one that I think maybe more so excited about, and this is a tough one. So my honorable mention, believe it or not, is
there we go.
Issue 2, and this cover is fantastic. I was just cool. I love that. So I just wanted to lift that up. I haven't read issue 1 yet. This is all Fall of X. This goes straight into the X-Men to read pile, so this is going to take a while. But what I really wanted to lift up here was last Monday I had posted a playlist of horror books that I was reading, several of which were Archie Horror offerings. These are all a series of one-shots right now. And what I most adore about these is the letter from the editor in the back of the issue that talks about the creative team, how it was assembled and chosen, and lifting them up. And to me, it just made me feel that much more involved with the overall product. And I loved it. I love the richness of the characters, the story, and the legacy of Archie itself, but how we can do something kind of dark and sinister and make it so successful. Archie Horror, you guys, for those of you that have considered checking it out, jump on in, get your feet in the pool, try it out, and see how you feel. I personally love it. It pairs nicely with a lot of the horror stuff that I'm reading, and I am definitely going to continue picking all of these offerings up because they're so much fun. So,
Agree.
Yeah, Archie is secretly really good at making horror books.
yeah,
Like
it's
they
the
don't,
most
like,
random thing, but I absolutely adore it. So,
one of the things that you got to give the Archie like publishing credit for, I think, is that they are always down for pretty much any idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
And like they don't care if it like messes with the head canons of characters or something. If they want to have the Predator in Riverdale, they're gonna put the Predator in Riverdale. We're gonna find a way to make that happen.
I think they did 2 volumes of that.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Or just like, do you want to put the Punisher in there? Yeah, we'll throw him in there too.
Yep.
Like they
Archie versus Sharknado was a thing too.
Yeah, it's like and they have their serious stuff. They have their like, where hey, we're still in the like that 1950s comic style.
Mhm.
They have the other ones. They have the more modern ones there, and they have their Archie horror. They're like their Riverdale books they had for a while too. Like Archie is very weirdly versatile when it comes to using their IP and giving the freedom to use it however you want, which is kind of cool. And they like a company that like makes like so what amounts to like a squeaky clean like kid comic is also making horror stories where all those characters are getting eaten by zombies and they're trying to survive the best they can, and not a lot of them are. So it's just it's a very interesting dynamic for a comic publisher.
Mm. I also got to give a shout out to my grandma too. She used to have stacks of Archie comics.
There you go.
I would read those, and I loved them, and it's awesome. So.
Yeah, those are
grandma.
Shout outs to grandma.
Wanted to give a shout out to Chad's comment here too. Archie versus Punisher law. So that's pretty fantastic. I always forget that one exists, but it's true. I mean,
Yeah.
Predator, Alien. I mean, just Archie's going up against everyone. It's funny. Perfect. Well, that was my final pick of the week. Sam, what you got?
Oh, what do I got?
What you got?
What do I got? I don't know, man. Well, in effort to not use the book I accidentally used at the start, I'm gonna do this one here. Noctera 16.
Ooh.
Noctera is about ready to finish up. I don't know if this is the final issue, but it very well could be. This has just been a really cool concept, and the characters in it are. Some of them are. A lot of them are pretty one note. All the secondary characters, but the main 3 characters that you focus on in this, the 2 main characters and the villain, are all very interesting. And the last time I told you guys about it was the Nemesis issue, which legitimately kind of like freaked me out. This probably won't be as bad because we're not like actively trying to like dive deep into the darkness, into the null voids of nothingness like that one was trying to do to me. This one probably is like, we'll just rather end well. This will probably be the ending, or this will probably be like the penultimate issue, I'd imagine. It's number 16. It looks really good. I can't wait to finally see the ending of this story, because this was coming out. This has been coming out for over 2 years. This book has been. It's had multiple issues, and frankly, I'm glad that I got to be a part of the whole ride for once, because I'm notorious for not picking up something immediately and then like, oh, that turned out to be really good. Oh, I'd love to read it. Oh, it's 30 issues in. Okay. That's why I was so like stuck on Kill Your Darlings, because it just came out and it looked cool. I'm like, oh my God, I got to get on it fast before it gets way too beyond me. But yeah, so yeah, Noctera 16. This is not where you start, not at all. But it'll probably be fantastic because all the other ones have been fantastic. So I don't see why this one wouldn't be.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Cool. And then I did Predator versus Wolverine issue number 1. I have read it. Everything you see on this cover, any ideas you get just from that title, Predator versus Wolverine, that's what this is. If you've seen the movies or you've read Wolverine comics, you've seen Wolverine movies, everything about those characters is thrown into this book. It does not disappoint, but it's not anything that you, like anything unexpected. No, it's exactly what you expect, and it's good. Nothing wrong with that. And I enjoyed this first issue. I think it's going to be 5 issues total.
We're gonna make 5 issues out of that?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. It was so popular today, and the weeks prior to, everyone was asking about it. Like, dude, when's this coming out? And so the excitement was real, you know. And kudos to both IPs, you know, for rocking it. So,
can I admit something to you guys that might make me lose some nerd cred?
Uh-oh.
I've yet to see any Alien movie. And I have only seen like 20 minutes of AVP 2. So no Predator movies otherwise.
Yeah.
I might lose.
The second Predator movie, top notch in my opinion, especially the first Predator movie. So good.
I'm getting there, man. I just watched Lord of the Rings for the first time in 2021, so I'm getting there. I'm slowly trying to. I'm checking the boxes off slowly, but I haven't seen a single Alien, and I have not seen a single Predator, which I want to. I just haven't got to it yet.
That's cool.
So I don't know if I've lost for Gryffindor here, but
no. I mean, that's like me with Harry Potter.
So you haven't seen that?
I mean, I've seen some of them, but not all of them. And everyone's like, "What?"
I've only seen the first one, and I've watched it like 2 or 3 times with the intentions of watching them all.
Yeah, just never happens.
That was me with Walking Dead. First episode 4 times, never seen anything else after that.
Mark, next time we get you out here, we'll have to have a marathon
of Harry Potter.
Yeah, we'll go to Hogwarts like all day.
There you go.
Get a crap ton of junk food. Yeah.
Why don't we just go to Universal Studios and just go do their Harry Potter land?
Why would we do that when he could come to Sioux Falls? It'd be way more fun.
It's more magical in Sioux Falls.
That's true. Yes. The corn brings up so much magic.
Oh my gosh. Well, Rainbow Comics does. Come on. Sponsored streams, Sam.
Oh God. Well, come on, man. I'm talking about South Dakota here. It's flat land. What do you want from me?
Oh shoot.
The Rainbow Comics is magical.
It is magical. That's right. Well, awesome. Well, that was all I had for tonight, you guys. I will say that for those of you that follow us on Facebook or Instagram, I will be posting photos of all this blacklight sorcery here shortly. I'm so giddy about that. Like I mentioned earlier, Maria Wolf will be at the Lincoln, Nebraska Rainbow next Wednesday from 4 to 8. And then Rainbow Comics Sioux Falls she'll be at 4 to 8 on Thursday, the 28th. 28th. Yeah, the 28th. And then she will be at SuperCon as well. So, yeah. So, that it'll be a lot of fun. Whoa, what's this all about? Thomas, I don't know if I want to be friends with you anymore. I hope it wasn't me. Did I say something?
It's probably my South Dakota comment.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I hope I want Thomas. No.
It's probably my Sioux Falls' Flatland.
Because you've never seen Predator.
There it is.
There it is.
Listen,
okay,
I'd love to. We could.
I thought it was something I said. I'm like, what did I say? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's probably Predator.
That's funny. And then also, you guys, Tom was not able to be here tonight. Just had some family stuff come up, but we hope to see him again soon. Probably next week, maybe. But I did get to see him in the shop today, which was awesome because he's been a busy boy lately. So. But with that, anything else you guys want to lift up before we shut her down?
More love for Tom King.
More love and memories of Halloween Comic Fest, which we will not get this year.
Wait, we're not getting it?
I don't think we've had it for the past year or two. I think it was
we did. Last year it was rebranded.
It was virtual, wasn't it, last year?
We had books. Because it was like something. No, like they sent us. It was way less, but it was rebranded as something else. I want to say like Halloween to read or something weird. I think.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was like 4 offerings, I think, or something like that. And like
from Marvel.
Like the major Marvel DC. Yeah. I don't even know if DC did anything. Did they?
They usually do like a Halloween special of some bit. Yeah, they did a Halloween special.
Because we had Star Wars.
There was a
special, but not
like a Dead Man one
type deal.
So we had Dr. Aphra. We had Strange Academy.
Yeah, we did.
maybe that wasn't last year. Maybe it was 2 years ago.
I think
Yeah,
they put out some
we
books
just
that
got
were
'em.
free, but I don't think they had like this event like Halloween Comic Fest, and it's
Right,
like all
right.
these like 20, 30 titles that you can get. And,
Right. Oh, I
yeah.
hope we do this year, man. Like Halloween's the jam. So yeah.
There's nothing in Diamond about it, so
Oh, okay. Well, that's a bummer.
unless I've just missed it, let me know.
Yeah.
We'll make our own.
We'll make
Yeah,
our own,
that's what
Mark.
actually
That's
does.
right. Are you gonna fly out here and celebrate with us?
It's possible.
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
Speaking of which, shout out to Slime Mugs.
I got mine.
Yay! So
I
I'm so
have
excited
a
about that.
water jug.
Yes.
No.
Hey, that's what mine is too, is water. So
Water.
so.
There you go.
Well, cool. Well, another excellent week, you guys, and great show. And thank you for the topic tonight, Sam. You're crushing it as always with bringing, just fun
That'd
things
be
to talk
simple
about.
today with it. Just go like, hey, what's
Yeah.
your favorite character? Tell us about it.
So yeah, next week, just as a heads up, if we stream, I will be doing so from Lincoln. Otherwise, we might be taking the week off. We'll see, because I will be down and in Lincoln for that. So I might not have the means to do it effectively, but we'll TBD on that. But as always, we are Comic Book Look, proudly sponsored by Rainbow Comics. Collectively, we are @ a Comic Book Look on the X. Gonna give it to you. I am I don't know why I did that. @ John on Demand on the socials, Instagram,
Really
whatever.
want to do some DMX for you.
I totally did. Mark @ Mark C Shelton 1, and then of course Sam on the TikToks @ Nullman12. But we will be back with you guys soon, and I will say keep it comics and pass it over to Mark to say
Bagging and boarding is never boring.
boom, and then we will see you guys next time, and then I'll hit the end button.